big shout out and thanks everybody for the support, and keep them comments coming in the chat. And let me tell you guys something. It does not help the cause when you got other black men out here who go out of their way to trash other black men who are doing the impossible. Black men also contribute to this fuckery of our women. First of all, I'm gonna say this until I see differently. Black men in general, you're a bunch of fucking pussies when it comes to your women. You are afraid to tell your women what you. I got a buddy. You know, he talks to me. Oh, you shouldn't talk to the women like you talk to them. Oh, so I should walk around and be a doormat like you. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to get right on that shit. And when I say black men are a bunch of pussies, I'm talking about you are afraid to tell your women where to go jump off at. You are afraid to yoke up another black man in private when he's being out of order. You just want to sit in your little corner and you just want to complain about what's not happening, or your image being trashed, or your image being tarnished, and you're not doing the thing that's a thing. You're not doing what you're supposed to do. And we, black men and black women, are always sitting our asses around waiting for somebody else to do our job for us, instead of accepting things are the way they are and doing something about it ourselves. We are always waiting for the next motherfucker to go do it, especially good old white man, big daddy government, who has no interest. Believe it or not, they have no interest in a collective, cohesive black quote unquote community. It doesn't serve their purpose for us to be together. And you have other black men out here who are going about the business of trying to be extraordinary. And then you'll have supposed to be smarter black men. Remember, I don't care about your politics on this. Remember when Barack Obama was first running for president? Remember what Jesse Jackson got caught saying on a hot mic about Barack Obama? Does anybody remember what Jesse Jackson said about Barack Obama on a hot mic? Sorry about the pause. I'm just trying to see if anybody remember, because I know our memories are a little short. Jesse Jackson, despite what you think about Barack Obama politics, Jesse Jackson was pissed at Barack Obama because Barack Obama didn't come and kiss his ring. No, Mr. Yeah, he did that, but he also said, now this is a black man, Jesse Jackson, who should fucking know better, said on a hot mic, I wish I would have said this, because I would have pulled it up. Right while Barack Obama was giving a speech and Jesse Jackson was on the panel, Jesse Jackson leaned over. I don't know if he was talking to Al Sharpton or to somebody. Jesse Jackson leaned over and said, somebody need to cut his nuts off.
Talking down to black people on those faith base and Barack, talking down to black people. When you make mistakes, you should not equivocate. You should be quick to go on the offensive and not try to be evasive. And if they were said to him personally or in some public forum, they would have been even more hurtful. In this case, my error was responding to a question before a live mic, and so when he does hear them, they will not be helpful, they will be hurtful, but we have a relationship that can survive this.
Jesse Jackson, who had a failed presidential run twice in the 80s, was so jealous of the success that Barack Obama, at that point, it looked like it was a foregone conclusion that he was going to become the president of the United States. He was so jealous that Barack Obama wouldn't bend over and kiss Jesse's ass that Jesse got so mad at Barack Obama. And you know what pissed off Jesse Jackson about it? You know what pissed him off? Because Barack Obama gave a speech about how black families, how black men and black women need to do better about the black family unit. Barack Obama had the fucking nerve to talk about black folk is fucking up in the family department. And Jesse Jackson's response to that was, I think that nigga need his nuts cut off. And Jesse Jackson knows what happened to strong-willed black men during slavery and during Jim Crow. Do you not know? I did a whole series. I did a whole episode or a whole live stream on buck breaking. And one of the things that they would do to Africans whose will was strong, they would either ass fuck them in front of everybody, or they would fucking castrate them in front of everybody. And Jesse Jackson's punk ass said this because Barack Obama had too much will for him. Because Barack Obama had the nerve to talk about the state of the black family and how it was trash. And because Barack Obama wouldn't come and help raise money for the Rainbow Push Coalition, which has been proven to be just as fraudulent as the Black Lives Matter organization. Black men are just as complicit in keeping the narrative going because we as a collective at times engage in the fuckery too. Because of our own egos, our own shortcomings, our own self-development. And this brings me to today. Primetime Deion Sanders is over at a predominantly white institution called Colorado University or whatever the hell they're called. And he's over there exceeding expectations. He's over there doing his thing. Deion Sanders already has more wins than that organization had last year. Deion Sanders has brought in more money, more season ticket holders, more boosters, more ad revenue for that fucking university. He brought all of those black boys from the middle of the nowhere to Lily White, Colorado, to give them a shot at changing their lives and their families' lives. And we got other black men out here trashing what Primetime is doing. Let's take a listen. Shout out to the Dreamerspro podcast. We're going to play a clip from the Dreamerspro podcast. Jason Whitlock, this motherfucker, Jason Whitlock interviewed Warren Sapp, Brett Welfare King Favre, and somebody else. And the white man had to ask Jason Wilborn, what the fuck is your problem with Deion? I'm going to tell you what it is after I play it. Before we play it, before we get there, let me go ahead and, what is wrong with my computer? Before we get there, let's do this.
Money making is my thing, because I'm trying to be rich, trying to put away meals.
Here comes the money.
Here we go.
Here comes the
Yeah, shout out to the homeboy Eric Jordan. Brother, thank you for coming back. Don't forget, I got something. Yes, we do. Thank you, brother, for the $5 super sticker. And once again, our good sister, them white folks come up with $30 million to pay Deion. They sure did. And maybe that's why they pissed off at these other brothers are pissed off at Deion, because he's getting paid. Stop worrying about, and that's another thing, people. Don't worry about what's on somebody else's plate. Don't worry about what's on somebody else's plate. Do your own job. Real quick. When I was in my late 20s, the guy that I grew up with is not considered my best friend. This man got a job at 28 years old where he became the county-wide director over all of the Head Start program for my hometown, which was a massive job, which gave him an over $200,000 a year salary. He was over several schools and all of this. And people used to, when he got this position at such a young age, people were like, people that we grew up with, everybody just started getting like real with him. Like they will be, all of a sudden they hitting him up for money, want to get loans, want to do this, want to do that, think he should pay for this and pay for that, kind of talk to him sideways. Some people just stopped talking to him. And I was working at a job where I was just making about $35,000 a year. And when that brother got that position, I took him out to the most expensive steakhouse that in Milwaukee. Let that big brother eat what he wanted to eat. Celebrated my homeboy with his sisters, his wife at the time. Well, she's still his wife. Boy, that put me in so much debt I didn't know what to do with myself. I was so happy because I felt, because we were so connected, that whatever success he experienced it, even though it wasn't directly mine, I felt that it was my success because my brother from another mother was doing his thing. And about a few months after that, my brother, we was over watching the Packer game, and he was like, T, he goes, you the only person of all the guys that we had, you the only one since I got this position that ain't treated me differently, ain't looked at me sideways, ain't gave me no kind of eagle eye about what I got. And I looked at him, I said, Coop, let me tell you something. I can't be worried about what God didn't put on your plate. That plate that full plate of food that he got over there for you, that's for you. Why would I be pissed off and upset and worried about your shit? I'm trying to figure out how to get my plate full. I ain't got time to be worried about your plate. And quite frankly, Coop, I want you to get more on your plate. But a lot of brothers are not built that way. And we're about to see this. Let me get to it.
I'm Sebastian, and welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and when we give you guys a fresh perspective on things. And we see them, and boy, we got a show here for you guys here today. But before we get into it, please make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. And also, if you're not following the Dreamerspro podcast, be sure to be sure to follow the podcast. We have that pinned in the comment section. We're on Spotify and iTunes. Now, you guys know I'm not a very big football person, although I used to watch the NFL, I do watch football. I've watched it in the past, let me say, and it's enjoyable when I watch it. But predominantly,
Real quick, you run a sports podcast and you be like, I don't want no football. Come on, bruh. You gotta do better than that.
don't watch the NFL and football that much because I'm so focused on the NBA and there's so many things happening in the NBA. That's usually why I spend all my time, plus with work. So the work that I do. So I don't spend that much time, but I do follow big stories whenever they occur. And in this case, there's a big story surrounding the NFL Hall of Famer Deion Sanders and the team he is coaching in Colorado. Now, there's been a lot of discussion around the way Deion Sanders goes about his business because, as you guys know, Primetime is very outspoken. He's going to tell you what he thinks. If he wins, he's going to let you know about it. And that's the type of person he's been. I went back to watch old tape of him, watch old highlights of him. And he was always somebody that always celebrated, had fun, but was a very, very confident person. And you can tell that. And you can see then that is something that he's been successfully been able to instill in the football team and every football program he's been associated with. As you guys know, he recently signed about a 5-year, $29.5 million deal to be the head coach of Colorado.
Like, damn. 29, like, that's, I wouldn't be like 29.5, 30 mil. 30 mil. My God. Shit. You know, why they mad at him?
And at the time, he had some naysayers. A lot of people thought that it was all fluff. There was nothing really there. But after their huge upset win, big upset win to kick off their season, it drew a lot of attention. And some of the attention wasn't positive. Now, one of the biggest critics out there, Deion Sanders, is Jason Whitlock. If you know anything about Jason Whitlock, I've watched a lot of his shows. He's a well-prepared, analytical person, but he's going to tell you exactly what he thinks. He's not going to pull any punches, and if you're going to hurt, and if he's going to hurt somebody's feelings in the process, so be it. That's the Jason Whitlock way, and to a certain extent, I respect that, to have the courage to say exactly what you believe and not be afraid of what others think. But recently, we produced a show on some of the comments that he had to make about the way Deion Sanders has been conducting himself. And I said in that show that I believe he went a little bit too far.
Somebody please explain to me if anybody, even on the margins, have been keeping up with Deion Sanders since he took over at Jackson State, stayed there a couple of years, left, went to Colorado, and then conducted his business up until the start of the season last week. What is there to criticize about Deion Sanders' behavior? What is it about his behavior that's so offensive to people?
Comparing him to a woman, questioning his religious foundation. I thought a lot of that was too much. I thought we were going a little bit too far. Well, it seems like he's ready to take it a step further. He recently did a show on the Jason Whitlock, podcast or his show, where he had like a Hall of Fame panel. Brett Favre was there, Warren Sapp was there, and they were discussing football. But in this particular segment,
and Brett Favre should not be on nobody's panel. All that money he stole out of Mississippi, that brother should not be on nobody's panel. And you guys don't know how much it pains me to say that we need to throw Brett Favre out with the bathwater. Brett Favre was my quarterback growing up. That was my quarterback. So it is hard for me to say that Brett Favre need to go. He's in Mississippi. He need to stay in somebody's backwoods somewhere. We don't need to hear from him no more. All the money he stole out of Mississippi from the welfare fund. My God.
and it was about a 16-minute clip, and it's doing very well on YouTube the last time I checked. Deion Sanders came up, and the panel basically asked him, hey, what's your issue with Deion? Because we don't really see any issues with what he's doing. And number two, he's not acting outside of character. He's acting like the same old Deion we always knew. And when it came time for Jason Whitlock to give his opinions on Deion Sanders, he did not hold back. So what we want to do is we want to play a little bit of what he had to say about Deion Sanders, and then we're going to come back and continue on with the show. Take a listen to that there.
I've watched all you guys play, and I have tremendous respect. Did you finish runner-up for Defensive Player of the Year? And, I mean, you guys are all special level players. I watched all of you play. You're incredibly gifted, and I think a lot of times incredibly gifted people have flaws that their gifts make up for, but they think their flaws are part of their strength. And
I spent all my time.
Oh, dang.
Brett Favre.
That their gifts make up for.
Hold on a second. So Jason Whitlock is starting out this soliloquy with this flowery speech that's supposed to be very insightful, but is going to take a hard left turn into a big old bucket of haterade.
But they think their flaws are part of their strength. And Deion was not the greatest corner to ever play the game, in my opinion.
That's right. Full of shit. Yes, he was.
Because of his arrogance. God bless.
Just because of his arrogance.
No. I'm saying
that voice that you heard, that second voice, that was Warren Sapp, one of the best defensive players in the history of the NFL. He was like, wait a minute. You think Deion Sanders is not the best corner of all time because of his arrogance? What does his arrogance got to do with his ability to play? How fucking petty is that? That's like telling somebody who's smart, you think you smarter. I don't like him because he think he's smarter than everybody. What? The hell? What? You don't think he's the best cornerback of all time because of his arrogance? If somebody's the best at something, it's a skill set. There was nobody in sports more arrogant than Michael Jeffrey Jordan. But you wouldn't dare say, well, there are some people out here that's claiming LeBron is the best basketball player in the history of basketball, and he's not. But you wouldn't dare be like, Michael Jordan ain't the best player of all time because of his hair. Oh, Jason Whitlock.
And I don't think that's what made him great. God gave him some incredible gifts in the womb.
Wait a minute. Wait one damn minute. Just wait one damn minute. So 1 second ago, you go, he's not the greatest quarterback. The greatest cornerback ever. But now you're saying, I don't think that's what made him great. So now you're saying he is great, but he wasn't great, but he is great. Hater for no reason. Do you want to know why it took Deion Sanders almost 10 years to get into coaching? Is because the good old White Boys Network did not want to bring him in even as an assistant coach or as a position coach on any level, was because they said he was too arrogant. So you are spewing the same garbage that kept him out of coaching when he had to go and get up out of here.
And he maximized that and worked hard and did all that, but it's not the arrogance. The arrogance to me is a shield or a beard for some insecurity. And just to be quite honest, when I see people that over the top, when I see people.
So Jason Whitlock, where's your psychology degree? Where's your doctorate degree in psychology? Where's your ability, your license to diagnose someone? Where is it at, Jason Whitlock? Your reckless opinion over a black man who is changing the face of college football before your very eyes. He's changing the narrative of what coaching should look like. He's changing the narrative on who can be a coach. He's changing the narrative on who can recruit. We're not going to talk about how Deion Sanders' son is the fucking quarterback and his son has an arm like Peyton Manning and can run like Robert Griffin III. Like Lamar Jackson. I can't believe I was going to say RG3. Lamar Jackson. Deion Sanders' son, who he's coached since he was a little boy, can throw like Peyton Manning and can run like Lamar.
He's my age. We're 56. We're the same class. I see people still wearing gold chains at 56. That's some insecurity. And because I bought some gold.
So I guess, he's wearing a gold chain. So that's some insecurity because he's wearing a gold chain. Shout out to
Bang!
Theo.
Bang! It's good.
There you go, Theo with the $10. I didn't mean to scream. I didn't mean to scream into the microphone. I didn't mean to scream. All right, Theo with the $10 super chat. Jason Whitlock was a born bitch. Yep. Still a bitch. Yep. And likely die a bitch. Yep. His hating ass. Can't stand that fucker. Yep. Theo, I gotta give it to you.
Bang! It's good.
Say it again. Jason Whitlock was a born bitch.
Yeah.
He's still a bitch.
Yeah.
He likely gonna die, bitch.
Yeah.
His hating coon ass can't stand the fucker.
Yeah.
Shout out to Theo. Also, let me not forget.
Money making is my thing, cause I'm trying to be rich, trying to put away meals.
Here comes the money.
Here we go.
Here comes the
All right, and shout out to My Sexy is Strong. Make sure you guys go support her on her channel. I can't do it right now because my computer's acting up. Somebody drop Theo's link in the chat for me. Somebody drop My Sexy is Strong link in the chat for me. I appreciate that. With the $5 super sticker, super chat, showing just a little support. This is Theo.
I said what I said.
Theo said that shit with his whole chest. His whole chest out on that one, boy.
Gold chains. And
I never wore gold chains in the beginning, but I got me a nice Cuban now.
that ain't the level I'm talking about. He
making
running
sure.
around with Run DMC. And again, I'm not a Deion hater.
Yes,
You
are.
He's got a little
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. You are absolutely a Deion hater. So far, you said this was your opening statement. You don't think Deion is behaving well. You don't believe, and why don't you think that? Because he's not the greatest. Okay, what makes him not the greatest? Well, he's too arrogant. What do you mean he's too arrogant? Well, I mean, he's not. It's not that he's not arrogant. I mean, that's just not what makes him great. Oh, you know what else I don't like about Deion? What else he's not doing well? What? What is it Deion's behavior is not doing well? He wear gold chains. So he's arrogant and wear gold chains, so he's misbehaving in his coaching duties. but you're not a Deion hater. You have not said anything tangible that this man has done. Even though you got Warren Sapp, somebody said it. I'm going to put it back up there. Well, who said it? Warren Sapp. Even though you got Warren Sapp, who caught an assault charge on a prostitute in 2015, and then you got Brett, the food stamp stealing king, stole millions of dollars from the food stamp program in Mississippi. You sitting up there with them two brothers, and I'm not really calling Brett Favre a brother, but you sitting up there with them two brothers talking about character and who's out of order and who's more arrogant than Brett Favre, allegedly. We got to say allegedly because he ain't been convicted of anything. Well, he did have to pay it back. Stealing millions of dollars from the food stamp program in Mississippi. Mississippi, the poorest state in the country, where I think the average monthly income Mississippi might be like $700 or something. Crazy. And you want to talk about you got a problem with prime time because he's arrogant and he wear gold chains at 50. Jason?
I don't. I really don't. I would love for Deion to be a success. Humility is at the foundation of all sustainable success. Sustainable success. Swagger and all this other stuff we love to talk about. We love to rap about it. We got to have it. Put it on display. Yeah. That's all worthless.
But his patience.
Some of the things you were telling me.
No, I'm telling you.
Are humble acts.
I'm telling you.
The patience, the work ethic. You talking about when he's driving 90 minutes to go coach high school football.
Yeah.
That's humility.
Yes.
That's.
She needs psychiatric help. Oh my God.
Jason, like psychiatric help.
I like that. You open for it. Fly off the handle as we were.
Sometimes it's best to just pause. Think about it rather than talking or yelling or screaming. I think there's a call for that if needed. But getting back to Deion, I think Deion's at a place in his life where he's ready to accept that role.
Absolutely.
He's a marketing machine. There's no question about it. You can't fault him for that.
And we want the smoke!
Brett Favre, the crook of the decade, had to come in and just body Jason Whitlock. Just had to body Jason Whitlock. And y'all didn't catch it earlier. Warren Sapp was like, you just hating. You just a hater.
From day one, back in the day, maybe he when he was drafted and he was playing baseball and football, he was feeling it, and it was all because of him. Now he gives the glory to God
and himself.
Well, I mean, I think he deserves some.
I don't. Not as a Christian. I can.
Well, and we can argue this. At what level of Christian?
I've accomplished again, and he's not at a very high level. In the sports writing deal, I've accomplished a lot. It has nothing to do with me. Nothing. Anything you accomplish on football, you may not know it, but one day you'll find out it didn't have nothing to do with you. You. This is for believers. If you're a believer, and it's just factual. And so I don't think Deion doesn't realize that, and I just think at our age,
nothing to do with this. It's already written. You just got to live it.
No, it's not written. But dude, I'm so flawed and so messed up and so.
Oh no, I'm born into sin. I got that part.
I'm so unworthy.
I only need faith as big as a mustard seed. I'm fine. You talk about a belief? No, come on. I was raised in the church. You beat me to Sunday school and you meet me at church.
Here's what happens, though. Here's what happens with great athletes. It's literally, though. I mean, you have so much success, you get.
I thought he wasn't great.
So much adulation, you get so that it clouds things, and you do start believing. You make your own self an idol. You make your own, and it's called idolatry. You make your own self an idol. I've been through it to a
I can't take no more of this. This is all I got for Jason Whitlock right now. Sometimes we sit around as black men and we and justifiably so, we get frustrated that our women, the greater society, the dominant society, still has this perception of black men. Not all black men have to be have to agree with every single thing. Not all black men have to think alike, but there should be some core 4 or 5 principles that are shared amongst all black men. And one of those should be not to go out of your way to undervalue, underestimate, and marginalize another brother who's doing an extraordinary thing like what Deion Sanders is doing. Somebody tell me if Deion Sanders is the only black head coach in college football. I'm talking about at a PWI, at a predominantly white institution. I'm not talking about at your HBCUs or your community colleges. I'm talking about in the Pac-12, the Big Ten, the SEC. Deion is doing something for other black men that will come after him. And Jason Whitlock is out here just excoriating him for no reason. Black men also contribute to the trashing of our own image. We won't stand up. We won't fight to save it. We had a flag bearer. No one's picked it up. I don't have a large enough platform. I wish I did, because I don't mind a good fight. And then we're out here publicly trying to emasculate, and humiliate a black man who's not doing anything wrong other than trying to blaze a trail for other black men. Deion Sanders being boisterous and flamboyant and out there. That is, if anyone has ever, if those of us who have played competitive sports, being braggadocious, having bigger than life personalities is a part of competitive sports, especially black-centric competitive sports. That's just what we do. And Deion is out here making it okay for us to be us. And then for us to get a whole, not just a bag, but a whole suitcase, a duffel bag full of money. To do so, just to be us. He's doing the thing that we complain that we don't get an opportunity to do.
Money making is my thing, cause I'm trying to be rich, trying to put away meals.
Here comes the money.
Here we go.
Here comes the
Shout out to Almond with the $5 super chat. Sat being supporting Deion way before culture. I know. And that assault got dismissed. Again, wife will come with this money and they have no issues with him. Yeah. Yeah. Somebody, Derek Gaines said that there are 14 out of 133 coaches. Yeah. Less than 10%. But what is the percentage of black boys fielding all of those football teams? Right, exactly. And a lot of brothers can't even get position coaching jobs, like a running back coach or wide receiver coach or special teams coach. We can't even get that most of the time. And we're out here ragging on Deion. Let Deion go do what Deion is destined to do. Don't worry about Deion's personality. Let that personality shine. Let it be seen as okay. Because there are more brothers out here that got bigger personalities than Deion who can do the job. Let Deion pave the way. Let him pave the way. This is insane. This is insane. Sometimes we can't get out of our own way sometimes. And we are out here wanting the most. And we got brothers out here like a Jason Wilborn. What's his name? Wilborn. Making it even harder in a very difficult environment for us. Jason Wilborn, I don't know if you will ever see this. I don't care. But, brother, do me a favor. Go buy some pussy and chill out.
I'm a king cause I do what I want and what I need. I don't need you to nobody, I'm busy doing my thing. Mess with me and you could get forgotten, just let it sing. I don't play, I just win every day, I get it.